Hello, loves. All right, let's show you guys how I made this football themed cake. So I do have a pan in the shape of a football that I use to bake my cake in. After filling it and icing it, I went ahead and rolled out a thin piece of fondant and laid it over the football shaped cake. This is probably one of the easiest cakes you can cover in fondant. As long as your base cake has the correct shape, then you should be fine. There's no straight edges that you have to create. And what I use to kind of smooth it out is another piece of fondant that I dip into cornstarch and I basically rub over the other fondant. That is the best way to smooth out a shape like this. Also, I do get some cake farts where, they bubble up. So I just pop them and I smooth over them, taking out the air. I cut off the excess fondant once I am satisfied with the way it looks and put that on the side. Now on to the airbrushing. I did put a little indentation like you see down the middle for the football shape. I airbrush it in a little bit of brown and some darker colors for details. I forgot to mention you do see some texture on the football. I have this mold that I use that looks like it's supposed to be for grass, but it looks like football texture as well. And now onto those final details. It has that white strip on one side and on the opposite side as well. And I make sure to put a little indentation running down through. I've honestly made maybe like 30 football cakes in my caking career, so this comes really easy to me now. So basically, I kind of eyeball everything now. So onto the middle part, it has that little strip, which I'm going to go ahead and also put the indentation through it. Next up is the stitching around that centerpiece. And again, I've made so many that I'm so used to what it looks like that I kind of just eyeball that as well. I have this pretty cool stitching tool that I use for these type of effects. And as you can see, it does look like stitching. Now the football has little lace pieces, about 8 of them. So I poke holes in the football and then I cut out little white strips of fondant and I actually place them inside the holes to look like they are coming out. Now you can't see because my hand is kind of in the way, but you can see me kind of squeezing one part of the piece into each hole. I do apologize about the background noise. They are working on my little gazebo in my backyard, trying to create a little bit of privacy back there for me so that I can sit outside without my hijab. Anywho, I continue on with those little stitches as you see me doing. It gives it a super realistic effect, so I do love doing this part. All right, now underneath this football is going to be a stack of grass. The customer did need the cake to feed around 30 people, so I wanted to make sure that she had plenty. So I told her I can make a cake of grass that the football can sit on. And since the football is heavy, it still needs some support. So that's why I put the straws on the bottom cake. It also has a little board underneath it, so it's sitting on the straws. Now on to the part where it gives you carpal tunnel. No, hopefully my wrists will be okay. But honestly, you can start to feel the pain in your wrists after doing this for a while. I have a grass tip that I use for the effect. Your buttercream does have to be soft and you have to make sure there are no clumps in it. After what seems like forever piping grass, this is the final product. Thank you so much for watching, guys.